So Insomniacs After School has honestly been one of the best anime from this season. It's a hidden gem. It's a sleeper hit that more people should be watching because it's so good. Because you're basically watching two characters that essentially have one thing in common, and we get to see like as their relationship like develops and how it's blossoming into maybe something else. Because these two characters, they both deal with sleeping at night, and they both have insomnia where they can't sleep at night at all, and they basically fall asleep in the daytime. And like these two characters are basically gonna form a connection as like they both eventually form the astronomy club. And the one way they find out how they can sleep, good is by sleeping with each other. That's how they can sleep well. That's how they basically can find out how they can sleep. Is like they have to sleep with each other, and that's the only time they can actually find peace. But no, it's not really like that, like, actually smash or anything. It's more like whenever they sleep in the same room, somehow they're able to just fall asleep. And that's what happens in the astronomy club. That's what happens like when they're like out on the beach and all these other places where it's happened at. It's not like no smashing. I just wanted to say that because it's kind of funny, because it's two characters that essentially have to sleep with each other to actually fall asleep. But I digress. Let's get into the actual thing. So this anime is phenomenal because the two main characters are so good, and I love both of them because they're so good. So the guy, his name is Ganta, and the girl's name is Azuki, and just know both of them are going to meet in the astronomy club, mainly because like we basically find Azuki just knocked out in a locker, and then Ganta sees her, and then he eventually falls asleep, and then they both like discovered like this room was a really like cool place to fall asleep in, and they want to basically make this a club and like be in this room all the time. So they put an application to form a club. Eventually they make a club and all that, and eventually this is like their secret place they go to. But as the anime goes on, we get to see like how closer and closer they get, because trust me, they get very close, because at one point they both know that each other are both special for each other. They both call each other how they're just like, yo, you're special to me, you're special to me. And Ganta basically tells her, yo, I will stay up as long as I have to until you fall asleep, because they both basically deal, like I said, with insomnia, and they both can't sleep at night. And through this anime, we kind of like get subtle hints on like why they potentially can't sleep at night, and I'll go into that in a little bit because that's kind of like spoiler-ish detail, because the manga, I have looked a little bit up in the manga and I know certain things in a way, but not really that much, because I just peeked a few chapters, but I didn't really pay attention because this is still an ongoing series. And the anime, honestly, is not going to touch the majority of the stuff that we have, because it really does have a lot of chapters. But I digress though, but let's talk about the rest of it, because like there's a lot of other interesting characters. Like you have the teacher, and like the first interaction she has with those two is hilarious, because she's like, yo, why are you two up here in this room that's abandoned? It's like no teacher, nothing here. And she's like, oh, have you guys just been smashing here? They're like, no, we've just been sleeping here. And it was kind of funny. It's her first interactions, but that's mainly because she's had like a part of the astrology club in the past, because she even introduces them to an older like student that used to go there, and she even like won awards and stuff when she was in that club. But she was by herself in that club for like I think a year or so, because like everybody else that was in there was older and they graduated. And we get to see like the older student, or the older woman that's there now. We get to see like the connection she has, as she's just basically explaining to them like how they can take pictures of the sky and like the right way they can take pictures. But one of the things we see in the anime when it comes to Ganta is that he has this like interesting relationship with his dad. Like it's weird slash interesting, mainly because they don't talk, and he doesn't talk to his dad at all. And like his dad always looks tired because his dad is always working a lot, and we just see they have like this weird relationship for some type of reason. And like there's no mom in the picture at all, so we just see like they have some strange relationship. Like something had to happen that like changed them, and we kind of did learn that something did happen that basically made like a rift between them in the most recent episode. But just like the relationship is just like there, and you're just wondering like what exactly happened, on why they went that far and all this other things. But yeah, when it comes to the two main characters, we see like when they're in the astronomy club, they're slowly trying to like figure out like how they can keep this a club, that they can get funding and all this. And that's when Ganta remembers that his dad bought him a camera, and that's when he goes out and starts taking pictures and trying to do stuff. And they even plan for like a party for like watching the meteor shower, and like it's this big event that they're all planning for all. And then eventually it rains on the day that they were actually planning for this, because trust me, they were planning this for like a few months ish or whatever. And like the Ganta, he was really excited because they got like help and all these other people, and like he was basically going outside of himself. He was out of his shell and like doing all these things he usually want to do. And just know it starts raining, and that's when he gets sad, like very sad, and like he runs trying to like tell people what to do, and he ends up running, walking in the rain. And that's basically when we get Azuki to basically find him, and then eventually they tell each other they're special in this one thing. And that's when the older woman, they find him. She's like, yo, why are you guys flirting in the rain? And it was kind of funny. And then eventually they go back to the restaurant. So yeah, there's a lot of like funny little moments in here, and also really good moments between the main characters. But that's getting to like the reasons that they both potentially can't sleep at night. So when it comes to Azuki, we know that she's always had trouble like with her heart and all that, because we learned that about her, and she essentially said in the anime that she's scared to sleep at night because she doesn't want to basically not, she's scared that like one day she won't wake up because of like the heart problems she's had. So that's kind of like what's dealing with her, and like how she has heart problems, and that's like kind of what keeps her up at night at times. And I did peep the manga a little bit, and spoiler, I did see that she is in the hospital again, so maybe like the heart thing does come around again. So I think this is going to be like a sad thing, but not this. I don't think this season's going to be sad since the season's almost over, but I think if it got a season 2, it would maybe get into the sad stuff. But yeah, just this first season's not gonna have no sad stuff, where season 2 maybe could potentially, if it actually did, because I did see she was in the hospital, but that doesn't potentially mean that, you know, they're gonna let the character, you know, die off or something like that. But I digress though. But yeah, we learned that she has heart problems. That's what's really keeping her up at night, because she's scared of like not waking up and other things like that. Now, when it comes to Ganta, there's really only one reason that was kind of like briefly talked about in the anime that made me go like, maybe that's the reason why he can't sleep at night. And that is his mom left in the middle of the night while he was sleeping and while he was young. And I think that's the reason that's causing him to stay up, because he's subconsciously thinking that, yo, if I fall asleep, somebody else could leave me, because his mom left at the middle of the night when he was asleep and he was still a young child. And that could have been one of the things that just caused some type of trauma and a trigger in him that keeps him up at night, because maybe he just thinks of like, maybe somebody might leave him in his life if he falls asleep. So I don't know, I just saw in the most recent episode that just made me think about that, and I was just like, maybe that's what's causing this, but who knows? I mean, maybe the manga goes into more detail about it, about like why he really can't sleep. But I just thought that was like maybe a thing. And we also see like as he was a child, we saw that he basically ran in these small shoes for like forever and didn't ask his dad about like buying new shoes or any of this. He's not trying to do inconvenient things for his dad, and you just see he's trying to that, and he's trying not really to talk to him, because you know they have that rift because like the mom left, and that's kind of why they have that rift, because like the mom left and it wasn't really explained why she left. So like their relationship's kind of like not the best that it should be, because the dad always has to work a lot and all these other things. So, and like he never asks his dad for stuff at all. Like that's the thing, like his dad's like, yo, I would want my son to ask me for stuff, but he doesn't ask me for things. So yeah, there's that too with their relationship, and I just thought that was interesting, just seeing like some of the backstory that we haven't learned yet, that we finally learned in the most recent episode. But yeah, Insomniacs After School has been phenomenal. I've really been enjoying it. It's been one of the best anime from this season. It's on High Dive, so if you have High Dive, watch it on there, or you know, hop in your pirate ship, watch it that way too. But yeah, it's been phenomenal. I love just seeing the relationship between these two, especially because we did get some other stuff about like when we met Azuki's sister. She's literally telling Ganta, she's like, yo, do not get close to her, because she's had all these problems in her past. And she even talks about like how when she was younger, she would get upset that her sister was the one that was sick, and everybody would always look at her, and then how she would always have to be like nice to her sister just because she's sick. And we even saw that Asagi, when she was younger, she didn't like the special treatment she got, and like she cried like when everybody helped her get first place like in this relay race, just because she's always had these heart problems. So like her sister's just saying she's the only one that just would like mess with her to make her feel like normal and not give her special treatment. But then she's just telling Ganta not to get close, because like you never know, she could have, you know, an episode, or just like something could happen to her. And Ganta's like, no, we both have already told each other that we're special. I actually kind of really like her, and I want to basically be with her, and I'm not scared of like anything happening. So it just shows that he actually likes her, and he really wants to just be with her. And that was just like, I was like, yes, I like that. I was like, good. I was like, hey, telling the sister that, yo, you're here for the long run. I will take care of her. I will make her, I don't give her no special treatment. I am just here. I really like her, and I want to be around her, and I like being around her. So it was just like, it was nice just seeing that. But yeah, Insomniacs After School, phenomenal anime. Please watch it if you're not watching it. But if you enjoyed the video, why not like? If you didn't, if you dislike, subscribe if you enjoyed. But Insomniacs After School has been so good, and I just love where it's going. I probably will pick up the manga, because I saw that the manga's on the Viz app now, so I'll probably just read it on there after the season finishes, because it's been so good, and I want to know more about the story. But phenomenal anime. Everybody needs to watch it. Please watch it, because in my opinion, it's one of the best ones from this season though. But thanks for watching. See you next video though. Bye.